everyone, welcome back to Degenerate Discussions. This is episode 3. We got Libby back in here with us today. He's drinking his rock stars. I've got Jameson and Dr. Pepper Cherry. My beautiful little Jameson dispenser here is Donnie Boy. Pick them up off Amazon. They're like $11. They're adorable and funny. Press the button and he whizzes Jameson. Well, he whizzes whatever you put in it, but he whizzes Jameson for me. Pretty. How about you?
Well, guys, I'm doing pretty good today. Hope y'all are having a good day. Like you said, I've been drawing the shit out of my rock stars, and we've been talking about music a little bit, some video games today, kind of some stuff that we grew up on and stuff that had impact on us. What was your favorite game? Or what was the game that really got you into video games, or even intrigued by them? Or
I would say the first one that really got me into it was, I believe it was the second Ratchet and Clank game, Up Your Arsenal.
Okay, that's an interesting one. What console?
PS2. It was actually a Christmas present that I had gotten for getting in a fist fight. Oh, hold on, let me see if I can find my punch or my cutter.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I know that the first console that I owned, it's weird because I kind of bounce back and forth, but the first console that my family owned, my dad bought the original Xbox, and I saw him playing Halo, and it was GTA Vice City were the first two games I saw, and very quickly after that, Mortal Kombat 3, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3.
That was a good one. I liked the soundtrack of 2 better.
The fact that it took... Well, no, I think it was Pro Skater 2, because that's the one where you had Bam Margera and a few of those other skaters unlockable.
Yeah, a lot of people in that one.
Yeah, so I think it was Pro Skater 2, so thank you for the correction there. But it's funny that there's 3 other titles before an actual somewhat age-appropriate game. Questionable, for my age at the time as far as music goes, but the rest of the game was fine. Those were some of the first titles that I was introduced to. And I think the first one that I really got to play was probably Mortal Kombat with my dad when my mom was around. And that made it a little extra special.
I played Mortal Kombat on the Super Nintendo at my best friend's house for years. So now, very, very good friend of mine. I consider him a little brother. I've known him, it'll be 26 years in August that I've known him. But growing up, he lived with his aunt and uncle, and they had a little bit of money because his uncle was a very, very good quality veterinarian. He tended to all the animals of my family. But they always had a little bit more money than we did, which not one side better than the other. Everybody's got more money than somebody.
Right.
But they had a lot of video game consoles, so it's I remember playing Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, GameCube. They were very heavy in the Nintendo world. He also did have an Xbox 360 after they came out, which I wound up buying in high school, but that wasn't the point. Be in 2nd or 3rd grade and playing Mortal Kombat on Super Nintendo, Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2 was just so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's so wrong.
Oh, yeah. It was kind of crazy. Because I went from playing Mortal Kombat with my dad kind of secretly, and then, he let me watch him play Halo. Eventually let me play it a little bit when my mom wasn't looking. And then when my parents split up, I was allowed to play Tony Hawk all day by myself. Like that was a safe game. Never had to worry about that. And after my parents split up and my dad married my stepmom, my older brother was a big Sony guy. He had a PlayStation 2 and a Sony Dreamcast.
Sega.
Was it the Sega Dreamcast?
Sega was Dreamcast.
Okay, so he had the Dreamcast, my bad.
Yeah.
But so he
Sonic.
he had me playing on the Dreamcast first,
Yeah.
and I would watch him play on the PlayStation, and then once the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 both came out, he would let me play on the PlayStation 2 and watch him play on the PlayStation 3. But then when our cousin would come over, our cousin was an Xbox fan, so he would bring over the Xbox 360 and we would all play Gears of War together.
Oh, Gears of War. That was a fun game.
That was one of I enjoyed it as a third person shooter for the fact that I could rage bait the shit out of grown ass adults only trying to chainsaw them.
Yes.
And they would get so mad at me.
What's your most memorable, not necessarily the level name or whatever, but the most memorable, event happening in the first Gears game to you?
So what do you mean by that? Because as far as my gameplay experience goes, or
When I think of playing the first Gears of War, the first, so I'll give you the top three. Fighting Rom on the train,
okay,
the first Corpser you deal with,
okay,
and the first Berserker.
so this is going to sound absolutely crazy. I've never played the campaign.
I didn't know there was anything else to play on the first one.
There was
other than the campaign.
there was a PvP, and
I remember PvP and the other one on 3 because I played that one.
so there
The Horde, the Waves.
so there was a PvP kind of Call of Duty style because that's when Modern Warfare started to kick off, and Cold War was kind of starting to come into play more. So Gears of War launched with a PvP mode, or a PvP mode came out eventually, and that's what my cousin and my brother and I would play.
Yeah.
So I never played the story.
Oh man, I love this. The story of the first one was great. There's a new one coming out called E-Day.
Okay. Okay.
You get to play as young Marcus. Everybody watched what happened with, I think it was Judge. It was either because Judgment Day, you played as Baird when he was a lieutenant, and then he got busted down, which was a neat one. And there was also, which was also when you had the first Lancer, which had the blade, the bayonet, instead of chainsaw bayonet.
God.
Which I played Judgment Day quite a bit, but that was after E-Day. Because I think Judgment Day is when they did the whole Hammer of Dawn situation. They got it online and nuked a bunch of cities with it. And then I think it was 4 is where you played as Marcus's son and some other people, and they had a bunch of women in the team. It didn't get nearly as good of reception because it was kind of preachy.
Okay.
There was a protest. A handful of protesters got shot. One of the guys that you're running around with doesn't like that the protesters got shot. Another guy that you wind up running around with doesn't give a shit that the protesters got shot. When you figure out that one of the characters you're playing as is the guy who gave the order for the protesters to get shot because it was a giant shit sandwich and mass confusion. And so then there's a fallout because this happened and that happened, and now the best friends who've known each other forever hate each other, and blah, 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 blah. and the only important character was the female. Because she was supposed to become the new queen of
God.
the Locust. And everyone's like, we don't give a shit about the political hierarchy of the Locust outside of these are the small enemies that are worth the least XP, and these are the big enemies worth the most XP. I don't give a shit that they're a patriarchy. I just want to kill Locust. It was a heavily political, like, think of it like Star Wars 1, after having watched 4, 5, and 6 in the order they came out.
Got it.
You get 1, 2, and 3, which are all just these guys in combat, and then 4 are trade disputes.
Yeah, no, that's... Got it. Yeah, no, that's, like I said, I never really got super into Gears of War, mostly because I don't care for third-person games for this point. Third-person shooters, especially, I struggle with. If it's like Skate.
Yeah.
Um,
It's easier to third person because you can see what the person is doing when it comes to skating.
yeah, like sports games and stuff like that. A lot of times, it just makes more sense in third person. When it comes to shooters, I love first-person shooters, but when I grew up, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 in its heyday, where everyone was calling each other the most horrible, horrendous things, and
Those lobbies were fantastic.
all you could I never understood
Those
the people who
transcripts
got.
can't be printed out.
Thank God. I hope not. I hope they're not recorded anymore.
Oh, man.
I mean, who's going to hold an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old accountable for the salacious things they said, you know? So,
The way stuff was going, this is 26, so we date the podcast on Rick. So this is 2026. 2014, they were holding everybody accountable for shit that they had written 10 years prior. Like, you remember when, like, the Twitter fallout, the cancel mob and everything started in 2014? Yeah. It's like, we don't like this singer who's now 20 because when he was 10, he said he didn't like those people.
listen, when I was a kid, from like 10 to 17. So I would say 16 is kind of when I stopped playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And that's when I transitioned into Destiny. We'll get there. But like, when it came to Call of Duty, like, from those ages, I'll say I have no problem saying, like, if there's a horrible thing you could think of right now,
You said it.
I said it.
Everybody did.
And I
It was a
called it
Call
to
of Duty
everyone.
lobby.
Because it was all being said to me back as well. And it's like, I could either sit there and be upset about it, or I could sit there and laugh and be like, oh, that's creative. I'm going to use that one.
Well, see,
You know, like,
that's kind of the funny part because back then we didn't know who was on the other end.
yeah, you had no
We didn't
idea.
know their age. We didn't know their race. We could know their gender if they weren't using a mic
Yeah.
filter, because a lot of women would use mic filters to
Yeah,
not be
like,
called out as
at
women,
least bring their bass, like, bring some bass
Yeah.
into it.
which
and-
was the only reasonable thing because
Dude, yeah.
the things that men were called that are normally directed towards women in a negative aspect, I could not have imagined being a woman in that.
And see, like, that's the thing, right? Like, I
We were all hateful. We didn't actually hate each other. We were just being dickheads.
Oh yeah, like that's the thing. It's like if I understood that, like, I guess to me as a kid, it always felt like, you know how in a sport movie when there's supposed to be like a heated rivalry and they're out there and they're just like getting after each other, just talking all this trash, and then like with the camera, like when they know that they're not on the cameras, they're on the signs, like, hey, good job, you know, like, yeah, good game, whatever. Like,
yeah.
like there's that mutual respect, and it's like not personal at all. It's just business. Like, that's always how it kind of felt to me, even as a kid. Like, it just felt like, oh, this is just the sport.
It's like road rage. Because in road rage, unless you're like driving up and looking through their window after the event, you don't know their gender, you don't know their race, you don't know anything about them.
Yep.
It's the vehicle. It's like, man, this fucking Ford cut me off today. I don't care who the driver is. I'm going to say bad things about whomever's in that vehicle.
Oh yeah.
I don't care who's in the vehicle. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. No.
It's a car doing dumb shit. And I don't like them for it.
No, absolutely, dude. And it's like,
That's what the lobby was like. They were just cars driving around, faceless.
to me, it just felt like, I don't know. I guess when we grew up, the way that friendships were formed and the way that we bonded with each other was saying the most horrible things we could to each other to try to one up each other, make each other laugh. And
Oh yeah,
that was just the way we grew up. And like, I think that we're on an upswing back to that.
if you weren't a horrible person to your friends, you probably weren't a good person.
Yeah. Here's the thing. My friends would never catch me saying nice things to them 99% of the time. Unless it was a bad day for them. But even then, on their bad days, that's my days to be the most vicious because that was the days that they were always the most vicious towards me, but it always made me laugh.
You shit talk your friends to their face, and behind their back, everything's hype.
Oh, yeah, and you defend them to your death. Like,
I had a buddy of mine back in middle school and high school, and even into the military. We had a falling out after I had gotten out, but that's not related. But we did martial arts together, which actually the guy that runs, I'm not sure what he's calling necessarily the company, the primary broadcasting aspect for this podcast is partly on Spotify as ThoughtForge. My buddy Manny and his wife who run the majority of it. I'm kind of doing this. It's independent, but it's not completely independent. I still fall to a degree under his umbrella, but I've got a degree.
yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Like, he's not going to tell you, like, what to do necessarily.
yeah, unless I'm like out here shouting like racial and gender slurs all the time, like we're fine. Which I'm not going to do because I'm not a shit person.
No.
But like, so me, Manny, and our buddy Kelsey, we're all in martial arts together. We roll around, do a little bit of MMA, punch, kick, grapple.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Me and Kelsey would go at it like we hated each other. Like the most violent MMA fight you could get, like throwing on proper MMA gloves, no knee pads, no shin pads, no headgear, mouth guard,
Yeah.
just a mouth guard and gloves so that you can still grab. And me and him would go at it, just vicious. And you'd think we hated each other. And we was the best of friends. It was so much fun.
I mean, that was,
He beat me every time. I almost beat him once, and it's because he didn't have snack after we got out of school.
I mean, that was me and my buddies at bar for jiu-jitsu. Like, you know, keep in mind, I've been grappling my whole life. I wrestled for 10 years, transitioned to jiu-jitsu. I know jiu-jitsu 10 planet.
Speak up.
Sorry. Yeah, I transitioned to, you know, from wrestling to 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. And,
Shout out 10th Planet, friend of the channel.
oh, yeah, 10th Planet Nashville. Tim Freeman, whole crew out there. Fantastic people. If you're ever in Nashville, hop in, train with them. Wonderful community. They do open mats every Sunday.
Yeah, I've been out there enrolled. I need to go out on Sundays, but the scheduling is difficult for me to want to go out there because it's 10:30 on Sundays.
10, I believe open mats will start at 10.
Oh, so it 10 to 11 is the open mat.
Yeah, but usually people stay until then.
Yeah. It's a great time. It's a great workout. At 10, I'm usually trying to get north of town because it gets hot outside.
Yeah.
But fantastic gym. They've got multiple locations. Like I know they've got one in Illinois, don't they?
Well, 10 planets all over the world. There's,
Yeah.
I mean, they're all over the country here. So, like my home gym, I started at 10th Planet O'Fallon, Illinois. And then There's 10th Planet Nashville. There's one in Cookeville. They, Decatur, Alabama is a fantastic gym. 10th Planet Atlanta, 10th Planet or Chattanooga. Shout out to Elijah Carlton, one of the best grapplers on the planet. I don't care what anyone says. Truly, he is phenomenal.
Rolling's rolling. Let's get down to rolling.
Oh yeah, so 10th Planet, they're always a great culture, great people to be around. I've never been to a gym that wasn't inviting and I didn't feel comfortable like I belonged there.
Yep.
I've been to a lot of gyms outside of the 10th Planet system as well. I've even taught at a few of them. Cultures are different, man, and every gym is different. Just like every video game under the same category is still a little different,
Oh, yeah. So back onto the video games. As soon as you said Call of Duty, my first thought was not Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare 2. I grew up on like Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, Medal of Honor, Big Red 1, like the old World War II games.
Yeah.
So that's why when World at War came out after Modern Warfare, I preferred World at War because I liked the World War II guns. It didn't get any better with how the guns actually functioned or operated. And to my knowledge, Call of Duty still has shit ballistics.
It's point click.
Regardless of distance, it's point click. That's where Battlefield and Sniper Elite are better. But Sniper Elite's not a move around shooting game, it's a slowly move around shooting game.
That is my dad's favorite video game at the moment.
Sniper Elite 3 was so much fun, just doping Nazis.
That is his current favorite game. He got a PS5 just to play Sniper Elite 4.
Yeah. I played a lot of 3.
So for me, the pinnacle of first-person shooters for me, at least at this moment, and the game that hasn't sucked in on me is Escape from Tarkov.
See, I want to get into that. Is it out of beta?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1.0 launched back in November.
Okay.
So we're about to hit the 1 year coming up pretty soon. We're about to get the 1.1 patch at the end of this month. So we'll get a new season for that. Lots of expansion. It's one of those games where you have to enjoy punishment to a degree, or you have to be very confident.
So, you mentioned season. I'm not a big fan of how they do, and I've not done it in Tarkov, so I'm not sure. I just hear the word season and think about other games
Right.
that have done the seasonal thing, which has just been a money grab. Each season, we just give us more money and we'll give you stuff for the season.
So the way that Tarkov does it, right, is it's wipes, right? So you have, now that 1.0 is out, you have your permanent character where you can go through your quest lines at your own pace, take as long as you want, and you can eventually escape from Tarkov.
PvE.
And PvP. You have your permanent character. Now with 1.1, they're going to be releasing a seasonal character that you could have for that seasonal content, and it will only last for that wipe. So you'll get about 6 months with that character, is about the rotation that Tarkov has had in the past. But that is to play the new events and to go through the new specific quest lines that's just for that season. But if you own the game, it's not like you're paying for it.
Well,
It like that.
Not having to pay for it,
understanding.
but like the season thing is part of the reason that it's annoying to me. So I lived with a group of people. I say a group. I was associated with them. They tried to start up like an RC, some other shit. We had a big falling out. They can apologize. One of them can put on gloves and try to fight me about it. The gloves are in that box right over there under that table. And I'm willing to box them about it. Because I was not unreasonable, and they were, so fuck them. But we played Rock Band. We played a lot of Rock Band.
I love
Rock
the
Band
karaoke
guitars around here.
games.
It's behind you. It's red on the other side. It's Fender Jaguar. We played a lot of Rock Band.
I like the karaoke games on Xbox.
Do what?
The karaoke games on Xbox.
Well, so I played the bass, which is the one that is, and I also sang a lot. I like singing. But we did every season. So it's like every 3 months, the song list changed, and you could get points. You didn't necessarily have to pay for anything, unless, of course, the seasonal song was one that you hadn't downloaded yet, at which point they're $1 a piece. Between me and 3 other people, primarily 2 other people, we had spent in excess of $350 outside of the actual price of the game and the instruments. 350 songs that we had paid for to play. If I get my Xbox, my sister has it right now. And if I get it back, I've got like 175 songs paid for downloaded, which is insane.
Okay, but if you wanted to own Sims 3 and every single official pack and everything, dude, you're looking at hundreds and hundreds of dollars too.
Yeah,
Like-
and I hate all of it.
Now, here's the thing,
And
right?
it became successful because of fucking Horse Armor. Horse Armor was it was not the first purchase in game. It was not the first microtransaction. It was the first one to get the most amount of traction because people were making fun of it. And it was the most successful because the most people had actually bought it, including all of the people who were shitting on having to pay for it.
So,
I don't like it. I have participated in it.
so I agree. That's part of like. So, I guess moving on from Call of Duty, right? That transitioning into Destiny. I evolved from wanting. Oh, okay. I guess part of Call of Duty was I loved the campaigns of the earlier games. Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Call of Duty Ghosts.
No rush.
All of those campaigns are so memorable in their own right. They played so smooth. They were so thought out. My only complaint is I always wanted more. How come I'm paying for expansions and new maps for PvP, and that's not even the content that I want? The content that I want is just give me more story because you're so good at it when you actually try.
Yeah.
And when that started to fall off, I was really just kind of getting over the cycle of what is the meta, how can I get ranked, how can I be competitive?
Hold on while I prestige platinum.
Yeah, like how hard can I grind? How can I get all the skins? And it's just the rinse repeat cycle got so boring, which is ironic because I play Tarkov now. But I moved on and wanted something more, and that's when I found Destiny. And Destiny came out, one of Bungie's most ambitious projects outside of Halo. It was their first big title outside of Halo.
Now, it's still open service, isn't it? It's the style of game.
Nope. That all came to a screeching halt. Most of the Destiny staff is completely gone.
Really?
And yeah, Sony they just did their last patch.
Because
Their
when I
last
was, my only info on Destiny was back during Destiny 1, where it was like the weekly grind missions, the monthly
Yeah.
stat missions. Everything was monthly, weekly. Oh, this class is kind of meta this week because they nerfed the class that was cool last week. So
Yeah.
instead of run and gun, it's now tank. Instead of tank, it's now sneak.
Yeah.
And it was constantly, it was an active play, active update, monthly kind of thing,
Yeah.
which I didn't really care about. If I'm a guy that I'm wearing extra body armor and I move a little slowly, but I hit way harder, don't in 2 months be like, well, he's not allowed to hit any harder because nobody else hits that hard. Fuck off. That's the whole point of the character is to hit harder.
Oh yeah, and the consistent balancing act that they did. Sometimes they got it right. Sometimes they'd overcorrect. I I loved the fact that it was a beautiful world with very deep thought out lore. It was
I'll give it that.
a unique play style that was something that hadn't been quite done to that level yet, and no one had done it as smooth as that.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that, like, yeah, they had their hiccups, and there was some controversy at the launch because, oh, well, the Moon expansion is already on the original disc as a file with the game. However, it's locked behind a paywall and a dated release.
Oh, I hate that.
So, like that last minute change pissed a lot of people off, and like it definitely had its issues, right? Especially, all throughout its lifetime, it had its issues, and
Everything does.
yeah, by no means was it a perfect game, and it definitely lost me after a while because, like, I remember, dude, that when I decided to join the army, I was playing that game because I'd moved away from California. High school graduation was coming up.
What year did you join?
November 23rd, 2015 was the day I went. Like, that was the day I went to Mason.
I was in Japan.
So
I was getting ready to rotate back around to the States.
So I was playing Destiny when I made that decision because graduation was coming up. I was playing with all my homies back in California, and I asked them, "Hey, what are you guys going to do after graduation?" And oh, I'm going to college. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Came around to me, and I was supposed to be like, I thought my answer was going to be underwater welding because I was guaranteed an 80% scholarship to the number one.
So, just out of basic, you're going
Yeah.
underwater basket weaving.
Yeah.
That's your plan.
Yeah, no. So I wanted to go. I thought I was going to go underwater welding because I was guaranteed an 80% scholarship to the number one program in the U.S. But the first thing that came out of my mouth was I'm going to the military.
So, not out of basic training, this is out of high school.
No, this was at high school, yeah.
Okay. Because you said basic training.
Well, so that was you asked me when I went. So, yeah, when I joined the Army, I went to basic November 23rd, 2015, but I made the decision to join before graduating high school.
Okay.
And this was like 2 weeks before graduating. And like I said, like I just, it was the first thing out of my mouth, and it came out so effortlessly and without thought. I was like, huh, that was way too confident. I guess that's what I'm doing now. So I went and I talked to my dad and let him know the next day, and that was the first time he actually like seemed super excited about what I told him I wanted to do. Like, he was never really discouraging. Like, he always told me, like, pursue what makes you happy so long as it's relatively legal. And
Relatively. That's the important part. Relatively legal.
yep. And don't do anything too dumb. Well,
That's hard.
yeah, it's very hard. And so, yeah, no, that was just, I made a crazy life decision at damn near, 2 a.m. playing Destiny. So it's like I have a lot of fond memories with it. First, like, I've done so many raids and I played all the way to Destiny 2, but then they started removing content from the game and replacing it with new content. But then you couldn't go back and play the old content. And it got to the point where the base game, the base campaign for that game was removed. You can't even go back and play the base campaign for Destiny 2 now.
I have no interest in games like that.
So it's like they really fumbled. And once it became where, like, being in the military, having to deploy, right? If I'm gone for 6 months, GTA 5 is still going to be GTA 5.
Oh, yeah.
Red Dead Redemption is still going to be Red Dead Redemption.
Borderlands is still going to be Borderlands.
Call of Duty is still going to be Call of Duty.
Call of Duty is still going to be Call of Duty.
So, like I could still be Snoop Dogg.
It's just going to keep getting lamer and lamer as far as Call of Duty is concerned.
So, like, it's one of those things, but, like, Destiny, if you're gone for 6 months, you come back, there's so many new things, it's almost unrecognizable. They don't give you a, hey, here's where you left off, and an easy pickup transition point. you're dropped where like, okay, by that, so if I'm gone for 6 months, that's on average one season for Destiny was 3 months, and then new content every 3 months. So like that's 2 whole seasons of content that are just populating on my map as soon as I spawn in, and it's like, okay, you have quests here, quests there. Which ones do I start with? Which ones for what?
Yeah.
And then it's like you start one, you start making it through, and then based off of context, you're like, oh, this is the second one. I should be doing the one before that. But then sometimes the seasons didn't even come. They weren't like it wasn't a progressive story. It was a fractured storyline.
Yeah.
And that got really, really annoying. So it's like I got to the point where I stopped playing the game. And shout out to My Name is Bife. He is one of the best lore video channels, especially for Destiny, on all of the internet. And he's just got the most amazing radio voice, in my opinion. He's like the white Morgan Freeman for me. So, Bife, I doubt that you'll ever see this content. This is not something that I think will ever come across your review page. But if it somehow does, I love your voice. But yeah, dude, like
We also wave hi to the people we like in a very special way. If any of the content creators that I actually watch ever see this, yes, I will flip everybody off. I do not care. I've met some of them in person. They're really fucking cool. They were kind of fucking rushed when I met them, but they were really cool. I have pictures.
oh yeah, dude. Every celebrity that I've had the opportunity to meet, I've had a good interaction, a good experience with. Especially comedians, dude. Comedians are at least, and I'm sure there's assholes out there that aren't very fun to interact with. And I can only imagine being a certain level of famous can be very overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely. Tiresome.
So, to some degree, I give some leeway there. But at least in my experience, comedians have been fantastic to just hang out, get to know, bullshit with. Hopefully get some on the show.
I don't have pictures, but Mick Foley, the wrestler,
Mm-hmm.
he's fucking dope as shit.
There's most people I've realized are pretty cool, pretty chill, pretty down to earth. And their status is only something that you kind of create in your mind, like you put them on this type of pedestal. But if you give them an opportunity to step down from it and just be human, those are some I've always appreciated those interactions with them.
One thing I will say with more modern personalities, a lot of them are that way. Having been from Florida, the only times that I ever met Mick Foley, obviously he was planning on being in public. Because it's Florida, and if he goes outside, he knows that Mick Foley is going outside.
Yeah.
This is not to slight anybody, but you remember Larry the Cable Guy, of course, Collar Comedy Tour. So my dad installed appliances. Larry lived in Florida. He's from Florida, like character and everything, like that's where he is from. Used to call into the radio station. He didn't really have a sense of humor if he was not ready to be in public. Because my dad has a sense of humor. And he's fast and he's sharp all the time.
Oh, I've met him.
Unless he's like completely asleep. He's sharp. And he got a quick one. And he said while working in Larry the Cable Guy's house installing appliances, he had no sense of humor for any jokes of any kind while he was working there. Like, no, like, underhanded comments, no innuendo, nothing. Like, he didn't have a sense of humor for it. So, this is business, and it's only business, and there will be no comedy in my business. It's like, that's just annoying as crap to me.
Yeah.
For me, that's a sad way to live my life, because business is one of the most draining things I can do. I want it to be fun.
Oh, dude, I will. I will, if someone does quality work and they have a personality, I am more than happy to pay a little extra for that and have that human interaction versus the business transaction.
Matching energies.
Yeah, like, dude, my contractor that does all the work on my house, he does such phenomenal work. And
I was going to say he's definitely probably not industry standard.
oh,
'Cause industry standard is looks good from my house. I don't care what any contractor tells you. They're lying out of their ass. The industry standard is looks good from my house.
Yeah.
Anybody that says they do industry standard, fire them. They're not worth the money.
no, my contractor is very well worth the money, and his quality of work is stellar. He is unapologetically himself. He can kind of come off a little aloof.
Yeah.
But that's because he's very straightforward. And if you're not used to that, he can, like, people can consider it rude. And I wouldn't necessarily fault them, but if you give him the opportunity, he is, I mean, he's a very successful businessman. He's very intelligent, and he is very willing to share that with you. So, like, if you have ideas, he'll hear them out. He's also a total nerd. He loves D&D. He created with his son. Shameless plug for him.
Yep.
I will text you the name of it later. I'm kind of drawing a blank. Actually, I've got it on my phone. I'll pull it up later.
Yeah.
But he created a game with his son because his son would sit there and play chess with himself. And he got bored playing chess with himself. So he replaced the chess pieces with D&D figures and started making new rules like, oh, yeah, you can move past that enemy piece, but that enemy piece has an opportunity, like gets the chance for an opportunity attack, and they have to roll a dice.
Yeah.
And blended a
You
lot.
can sprint, but sprinting might still get you smacked.
Oh yeah, dude. So like, if you run across an enemy tile where they could, like, on their turn, they would have been able to move to like that, like directly in front of them. You move across two of them. Guess what? That's two different opportunity attacks that they can get. So, and he's created a whole lore around it, and it's based off of the first D&D campaign that he did.
This is funny.
But yeah, anyway, it's based off of the first D&D campaign that I did with the son. So like,
I bet they're running out of Jameson or battery.
but yeah, dude, it's really really cool. Cool game. They actually just built a website for it, and so like, he's very open about this stuff though, and he's so willing. Like, you see how much he loves his kids and how unapologetically he is for himself, and it's so hard for me to not want to work with someone like that.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is how you get repeat customers.
Oh, absolutely. The work that my dad does, he started with working at the house that my sister bought. And then from that, he wound up working for the neighbor across the street. And then from that, he's wound up working for a neighbor down the road and another neighbor across another street. A business owner that's got 3 different locations around Nashville. Friends of said business owner. Another business owner that has 2 businesses right next to themselves in Nashville, and that person's significant other who has a business over on the east side of town, and working for all of them. And I've done work at most of these locations with him that he's gotten because he worked for my sister. So they're like good quality work and word of mouth. I completely understand.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, to me, if someone that I know and I trust and that I hang out with on even a somewhat regular basis is telling me about something in a positive light that they've experienced, I'm at least going to check it out. You know, and even if it's not really up my alley, but just the fact that they're exposing me to it because they're excited. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, dude, it could be the new version of Silly Putty. I don't care. Show it to me, dog. Let me give me a newspaper. Let me see if it still does the thing. Like,
While Silly Putty is fun, I would much rather play with Angry Putty.
Serious Putty is seriously a lot of fun. Have you ever gotten to play with it?
I've rolled around a little bit of it in my hand, but I never got to like set shit up and detonate it.
Oh, dude, when we did my promotion ceremony, we got to wrap up a bunch of.
They made your explosive smaller.
Well, yeah, they made them smaller, but I was downrange, and we got to wrap up some fuel cans, deck board, and blow them, and do like a little Hollywood shot. That was pretty cool. But like we've done, I've played this before. It is pretty fun.
I want to play with the Miklik, which is just an inert missile launcher with a string of C4 behind it. It's fantastic. We're gonna clear this minefield. What? Yay! Happy
Do
birthday!
you think that if we could drop a big enough explosion in the DMZ, that they'll chain react, explode enough to where it could mostly clear itself? Or no?
It depends on how close they are together, because those older, most of what's in the DMZ are anti-personnel mines, and I don't think they're stacked together in such a fashion that, like, I would doubt they'd be stacked close enough to set each other off individually. So if you hit one, all they've got to do is, like, dig a hole near where that hole was.
Well, I'm thinking with big enough explosion, big enough blast radius,
Yeah.
right? And the chain detonation that would, or all of those miniature detonations that could theoretically go off, would create enough shrapnel and debris that can. You know what I'm saying?
It would set off a lot of them, but again, I think after that first round are detonated, it would be more difficult to set off the second round, because while things like toe poppers are pretty easy to kick off, actual like legitimate anti-personnel mines still require like a degree of body weight.
Well, and that's where I was thinking impact from the debris. Like, I wasn't sure. And sorry, totally random off the blue question.
Completely off the other end of the spectrum from video games and music. Yeah, like that's something that I'd be interested in, but it would be one of those. It would all be based off of how shallow they're buried and how sensitive they are.
I wonder if Mr. Beast could pay enough money.
Due to the fact of how old they are, there's a degree of they could be more sensitive or less sensitive, which is kind of a toss-up, because some of them are like, hold on, I'll go dig this out and throw it in a pile over there, and they don't go off. And the other one is, I shifted a handful of dirt, and now I'm dead.
Fair enough.
Because that's what's happened in Afghanistan with landmines from the Russians.
Yeah.
Let's fuck the Russians. It's one thing me and the Afghanis agree on. There ain't much past that.
They make some good food from time to time. That footbread's pretty fire, bro.
I was gonna say when they wash their feet first.
Listen, I'll have to see them prepare it. If I don't know, I don't know.
Hey, as long as I don't know, that's one thing.
If there's no hair or toenails, I guess I'm fine.
It's not Indian tree food.
This isn't a Wendy's.
Sir, this is a Wendy's. So back towards video game stuff, because landmines are funny.
Tarkov is just a first-person shooter, Dark Souls. That's all it is. It's brutal. It's unforgiving. Spot
Yeah,
that.
but napalm sticks to kids. If you get that joke, you're a bad person, just like me, and I don't care.
You're one of our people.
So, Borderlands, you ever play it?
Oh, 1, 2, and 3. And The Adventures of Handsome Jack.
Yeah, so I have 1, 2, 3, free sequel, and the first Tales of the Borderlands. I tried to play the second Tales of the Borderlands. I could not get past all the preachy bullshit.
So Borderlands 3, I downloaded while, oh no, Borderlands 2, I think. I downloaded while I was deployed in Afghanistan on my HP laptop. Was that was one of the only games it could run really, and I beat it a second time, and was so bored but couldn't really run anything else that I downloaded Cheat Engine and just ran around on God mode and modded guns and stuff
Yeah.
like that and just laid waste to everything. And I played it to boredom. That's one of those games where I will always appreciate the memories made and the hard times it got me through, but I don't know that I'll play again.
4 did not come across as good enough for me to buy. Because it's now been out for over a year, nearly. And I
haven't even heard anything about it.
It seemed like it kind of fizzled out like a fart in the wind. I've not played it. I didn't mind the actual playing of 3, but the story was subpar, in my opinion. 3 sequel, the story was not great, but it was made by 2K Australia. I'm willing to let that one go. While it's still the company of quote unquote 2K, they had to put Australia in there because they knew that it wasn't going to quite meet what people are used to in the States. But now everybody understands that 2K is just basically shit the bed unless it's a sports ball game, because they've not had to change anything in a sports ball game in 30 years.
Yeah.
Update the graphics, change the names, leave the buttons.
Pretty much. They might add 1 or 2 mechanics that like don't directly impact the overall gameplay, but like, oh, you can interact with your fans more this season or whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't play
Press
those
X
games.
triangle YB, you can actually shotgun the ball without calling shotgun.
I think I just had a stroke because you just combined an Xbox and a PlayStation controller.
That was the whole point.
That hurt my brain.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to get a kick out of seeing that on the replay.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, because I got a kick out of watching you do it. Hold on while I have an aneurysm. But yeah, it's like
30-round magazine clip over here. Jeebus.
it has the ability to dispense with a 30 caliber magazine clip.
Yep.
Goddamn, that's an AR-15, brother. That's a 22 fucker.
That's a something or other.
Yeah. But no, like, that's what it has seemed like to me. And it's like, oh, you don't actually have to press the button for shotgun. If you do this, you'll be allowed to shotgun it anyway without them being able to blitz. I don't give a shit. I do miss the wrestling games.
Oh, like
But
the WWE games?
I liked them before they were the 2K WWE games.
They were pretty fun. When it comes to fighting games like that, I will stand 10 toes down on Mortal Kombat.
So the only reason that I liked, I enjoy like Tekken and Mortal Kombat and things of that nature that are just out of this world. I liked WWE games more than like the UFC games, which so did everybody else apparently.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could easily agree with you on that one. I play as the Undertaker.
Because in the WWE, in the words, I don't know who originally said it, but I know that my buddy Menzies says it all the time. When it comes to the WWE, give me a good guy and a bad guy and beat me in the face with it.
Yeah.
All I care about is a good storyline.
That's all Vince McMahon does.
Yep. And it's like, you give me a good storyline with a good guy and a bad guy, I can cheer and boo. It can be a great time. I'm going to suspend my disbelief because I want to watch the 7-foot-tall zombie biker guy or zombie biker cowboy do some shit. Because it's a 7-foot-tall zombie biker cowboy. And that's awesome.
I will say one of the most horrendous decisions ever made was shoving Rey Mysterio's face. Oh my god, that baby face was.
That was horrible.
That was when I stopped watching wrestling. Was that face reveal? Was because I. That's one of those who. I wish he was still Mysterio. He's not Mysterio no more. He is a baby face
The
dude with a balloon body.
oh my god. You know who Glenn Jacobs is, right?
The name doesn't ring a bell, and I apologize.
Most people don't know him as Glenn Jacobs. They know him as Kane.
Yeah, okay, then yes.
You know what Kane does for a day job? Or at least he did. I don't know if he still does it, but he did.
I bet he was like a sunflower farmer or something.
He's the mayor of Knox County in Tennessee.
Hell yeah, brother.
And he's based as fuck. I come across a video the other day. It was him in an interview, and the guy's like, "Why doesn't socialism work?" Based take all the way through. Socialism, you have to be willing to force other people to do things at gunpoint. And you've got to look at every policy and say, am I willing to force my next door neighbor to do this at gunpoint? No. It's a based as fuck. Everybody's like, oh, that's not blah, blah, blah. Socialism, communism is different. It's like, yeah, read Marxism, you bastards. But you haven't.
Here's my thing, right? I don't even care about rich Marxism or anything like that. Just look at the people who look to be in power and what they inevitably end up doing.
Yep.
I am, even though I worked for the government for 10 years,
I don't trust them as far as I can throw them.
I love the American country. I do not love the policies and politics that go on and the division that is caused. And the institutions that are only there to push their own personal agenda, whether it is brought by themselves or because they were paid to say it.
Yep.
And paid for those agendas to be pushed. I am very much so not for that.
Patriotism has nothing to do with loving your government. It's only loving your country.
Yep.
Patriotism is not racist. It's just knowing that I love where I'm from and I love where I live. And you can pick either or both. You can either love where you're from or you can love where you live. I'm lucky enough to get to do both. Well, besides the fact that I'm from Florida and I don't like that place, but
I mean,
it's still America.
I love where I live so long as I don't watch the negativeness on the
Doom tube.
on the everything really. Like
Well,
it
they
doesn't
used to
matter.
call it the boot tube, but I call it the Doom tube. Whether it's the TV, your phone, your computer, it's the Doom tube.
See, if I spend my time talking to real people and having real people interactions, I love this country. Listen, when I go meet a crackhead outside of 7-Eleven at 2 in the morning, and I give him my spare change, and I know that the next time I'm there,
crack.
oh yeah, and I know he's gonna go buy crack or something, and I don't feel like that's his life. He's gonna do what he's gonna do, but at least I know the next time he sees me, if someone tries to rob me, I'm covered. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Like, I love the fact that people have the right to be audacious idiots. Like me, I'm a fucking idiot. I'm not smart.
You talking about the crackhead and me saying he's just going to spit on crack reminded me of a comedian. I can't think of his name. He's an Australian guy. He's not big time comedy, but he's pretty funny. Like he's heavy metal Australian comedian. It's his look, but he's like, I give my money to the poor. And people are like, why would you give him money? He's just going to spend it on drink and drug. What do you think I was going to spend it on? Straight up. Well, you should give your money to a charity so that they know where it goes. It's like, I know exactly where my money's going. It's going to this guy with 3 shoes and 1 sock. And And now it's going into the liquor store.
I love it.
It's like, but that's, if I'm going to do charity, which charity is a very important thing, in my opinion, but it's got to be voluntary, otherwise it's not charity. So, but charity's a great thing, and it can only exist when you're free to give it. And if charity means that I'm going to hand the guy some money or some cigarettes over off of it's Broadway and like 70, it's a little turn off where I'm going to work from school. I watched him get in an argument with a woman in a vehicle because she did not like his sign because it said, "Can an A get a biscuit?" We know what all came before the A. They made the woman in the very nice SUV get offended at the nice homeless guy with like 5 teeth in his head trying to get a biscuit.
He wasn't even asking for money. He was asking for food.
He asked for a biscuit. I gave him a pack of cigarettes one time. That dude was funny as shit. I've heard him talk. He's funny as shit. But I'm able to do that because there ain't nobody checking on me to make sure that I've given every cigarette I had to somebody else. Because I had enough money to buy cigarettes.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we've gone drastic directions for video games.
Hey, but that's just where we go. Our brain speaks braining, bro.
ADHD is a hell of a drug.
Hey, listen, I love that any noun can be a verb. And if you try to argue with me on that, sometimes the brain be braining, sometimes the feet be feeting, and the shirt be shirting, bro.
So, saying that, this reminds me of when I was in high school. I was in a youth group at Westside Community Church in Ponca, Florida. Yeah, Westside. Westside, best side. The youth pastor at the time was a guy named Mike. He was awesome. I believe he's still down in Florida. I need to get in contact with him. His brother-in-law, Brian, is a hysterical guy. But me being like one of the only seniors that was there, even throughout the rest of it, I was always very competitive. And I was stronger than most everyone else there because of just my upbringing. So competitive and strong, we did Ironman competitions where it's like you do challenges, you'd have a team and whatnot. And I lost the first one. Me and my team. We came in second place. And that put a chip on my shoulder. So everyone after that, I won. Whatever team I was on came in first. And I always went by my last name, Morley. And that's just, no one called me John, nothing. Just Morley. Everybody knew, there's Morley. Who's Morley's parents? That's Terry and Rose. There's Terry, Rose, and Morley. What? I don't know. Nobody cares.
Sorry, I always went by Libby, so I feel you.
But so, Morley was a noun, an adjective, an adverb, verb. It was everything except a synonym for failure.
Yeah, that's about what I tried to make it Libby at least. You know, there are some failures. I'm not one to judge, but I try to take my last name very seriously.
Morley, if you don't get out of my face, I'm going to Morley you in the face until you Morley on the ground. What?
I understood.
What?
I understood all of that, but I also know Morley.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, it was so much fun. The best one was one of the last Ironmans that I did. We were in, I don't think it was Turning Point. I think we went into like St. Augustine. And they're like, Morley, you're going to lose. We're going to make sure you lose. Because you are, like, I think I was 18 at the time. You're an 18-year-old senior, or about to be a senior in high school. Your entire team is middle school girls. It's you and middle school girls.
Hell yeah.
Enjoy the challenge. We had to paddle inflatable boats across like a little inlet there in St. Augustine. It wasn't very deep. And there were no oyster banks.
So did you just stand on the bottom of the boat and run across the water?
I grabbed the rope on the boat, which is the little thin, like, shitty rope that's not really a rope.
Yeah.
Put it around my chest and, like, walked and paddled because it was, like, roughly chest deep water. And it's like I walked across this inlet to move it faster because there was no paddling that could have been done to speed the boat up.
I love that. Did you win?
Yeah, I still won that one.
So of course.
Dude, that's just, I mean, it wasn't against the rules, right?
No,
It's just like when I was working
it,
a shooting comp.
it was a stack of competitions. You get a number of points for each competition. That like first place gets 3 points, second place gets 2, third place gets 1, fourth place gets nothing. We were first or second in every minor competition, which means that we won everything at the end.
Dude,
It was so much fun.
that's like when I was working the shooting competition a few weeks back, the sniper challenge, and I was running the malfunction stick, causing malfunctions in people's guns. It was not against the rules to fight me. And some people realize that. So, when those people decided to realize it wasn't against the rules to fight me, but like, obviously, I'm not gonna go crazy.
Keep the muzzle in a safe direction,
Yeah.
finger off the trigger, blah, blah, blah.
And I'm
That
not.
doesn't mean I can't kick you in the knees.
Well, keep in mind, there's one person shooting, and then there's their partner. Their partner was the one that would always try to fight me if they would try to fight. So I would just try to make sure that we're not bumping into the person shooting. I'm not trying to create an unsafe environment like that. But by God, some people did test it. And 3 people ended up on the ground. One person, he was like, keep in mind, guys, I'm about 6'1" and shrinking. I've got a destroyed lower back. And this dude was about 6'4".
Two rats. Just throw it at him.
Dude, he was like 6'4". And probably about 250 pounds of just beefcake muscle wall. My homie Sanchez was there helping me out. And you met Sanchez.
I met Sanchez.
He's like
He's thinner in person than he was in that photo you showed me.
Yes, he's lost weight. He's been working on losing weight. He's lost 40 pounds this year. That's the homie.
I was going to say, from the picture you showed me to when I met him was like a month and a half. That was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, he's been putting in a lot of work losing weight, but at the time he was a good 240 pounds, and he got one-handed shoved about 6 feet off the dude into me, and I stumbled back, and that's when I realized, okay, well, I'm not gonna get this fucking stick into the ejection port to cause malfunction. I don't need it. I'm gonna use my hand just to prove a point. I'm not gonna fight that dude, but he doesn't think that I'm going to just induce malfunction with bare palm. I will, and I did. Twice. But like, yeah, no, people will game the system all day long, and I love that. I love that type of creativity.
Well, it's like if all I've got to do is stop you from sticking a stick in the injection port cover, there's brass laying everywhere.
I could throw.
I'm
Rocks.
just going to throw brass at you.
Yeah.
Like,
I could throw brass. I could throw rocks at the ejection port cover. I could.
my partner is shooting, and you're throwing shit at him. I'm going to throw shit at you. I was in the Marine Corps. That's what we did. Oh, you guys are bored? I'm throwing rocks at people. Fucking corpsmen on the range. Do not mess with the wildlife. Fine, we won't mess with the wildlife. Start throwing rocks at each other. Stop throwing rocks at each other. Fine. Start throwing brass at each other. Stop throwing stuff at each other.
Dude, when I was at RASP,
Can we knife fight? No, you can't knife fight. What the hell is wrong with you people?
we're bored and we have to resort to violence. There's too much ugga dugga going on in Braden.
You said we couldn't play spades. So we're going to do the next best thing.
Fight Club.
Which is Fight Club.
Don't talk about Fight Club.
Spades was so much fun.
And it's one of those, right? I love spades. I need a good spades partner. I will not. I want to teach my wife how to play spades because she likes to play around me and she likes to play card games in general. However, I love you, babe. If you ever see this, I don't know that I can trust you to play along with some of my dirty play style.
I was gonna say there's no such thing as dirty play style. I just need to know how we're gonna talk about it.
We just need to develop our code, our signals. No table talk.
Did you ever? So I played a majority of my spades while I was in Arizona, which Arizona is kind of a soft topic for me, sore topic. There's other stuff that happened there, but there's still some fun shit that happened in Arizona. I was at Advon, which, for those that don't know, Advon is people that go in before everybody else gets there and leave after everybody else leaves. We prep the site and we clean the site at the end.
Yep. If you're add-on, you're usually trail on as well.
Exactly. So I was at Advon, and it was me, one of my sergeants, all of my boots, my sir, who was second lieutenant, best second lieutenant I ever had. Because he came up to me and my other corporals and my sergeant, and he said, I don't know dick about your job. I will not get in your way. If there is something I need to know, I will ask you when the juniors are not around. If there's something going on, and I don't feel like it's a good thing, I will ask you to step off to the side for a second. We'll put them on pause, and you and I can talk about it and square whether I think it's like, if I think something wrong is happening, I'll be like, hey, Corporal, can I talk to you for a second? And you can explain that, no, nothing wrong is happening. It's just the way that things are done. Type guy. He was great. Couldn't tell you his name, but he was awesome. String beat as fuck. Loved him to death. But so we're all out there, and we had a couple corporals and another sergeant from other spots in the battalion. And we're sitting there playing poker one night. I don't remember. I think we were playing Texas Hold'em. So like flop, river, and all that.
Yeah.
2 card.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there. I had a pair of deuces in my hand. That's all I had. Which is beat by everything except high card. The only thing I can beat is a single high card. Because it's a pair of deuces. It's literally useless. But I bet steady. Like I knew what I was doing. Everything was happy. We weren't actually gambling. We were just shuffling pennies around the table. It's literally all we did.
Yeah.
But it came down to me and my sir. And he's betting like he's got some shit. And I'm betting like I've got some shit. And everybody else folded because they literally had nothing in their hands. Like they didn't even have high card. Their high card was a 7. So we flip them. We've got a pair of queens that are on the table, so everybody gets it. And he had a jack and a 3, and I had a pair of deuces. And as we're sitting there, and everybody's looking at the table and seeing that I've got a handful of bullshit, and he's got a handful of nothing, he said, Morley, go the fuck outside. You're not allowed to play anymore. Because everyone else that had folded literally had nothing in their hands. Like, they were lower than he was. Because at least he had the jack. But I'm sitting here with a pair of deuces, and it's like, I'm going to bet like I got a pair of aces. I ain't playing this shit. Fuck off.
Dude,
And then I had to go check on my boots, and that's when we figured out that one of them fell off of their cot and broke his arm. Which was the story that all of them told, which is absolutely the true story, because all of them had learned the lesson of no one goes under the bus, or everyone ends up under the bus. Because I taught them that lesson at field day one day.
well, you know, just like one dude fell out of the guard tower in Afghanistan and broke his orbital bone. He slipped coming out. That's the story.
Man, he fell out of a guard tower and all he got was an orbital bone? Good for him.
Yeah.
Because falling out of a guard tower is a good way to break your shoulder and your clavicle and your orbital and
Well,
your shin.
I mean, don't talk about that guard tower's mom, who was a single mom that raised him, and that he's very protective. I mean, that guard tower is very protective over.
Yeah.
It was a strong gust of wind. He didn't like the way he was talking about the structure.
That guard tower was built by a strong, independent woman.
Yes, it was.
And it was willing to be rickety at the right time with the right gust of wind.
For the wrong motherfucker.
You know the cops, they're about 1.5 feet off the ground. Yeah, he fell right off of that son and broke his forearm right now.
Hey, he didn't drink enough milk as a kid, dude.
That's
what
exactly
you
what
get.
it was. Well, he couldn't drink milk. He was Asian.
That's what you get for lacking toes.
Yeah.
Joke there.
He was. I think he was actually. He was either Chinese or Korean. I don't remember, but his last name was Shear. I couldn't tell you. His first name was Zachary. He had the whitest first name, and his last name was Shear. But that was his roommate was Santana, Hispanic kid, obviously. And then in the next room over, we had, aside from the fact that he was as white as the driven snow, the only difference between him and Midnight was about 1150. That was Reed. Reed was a good kid, but he'd been adopted by an older white couple who drove tractor trailer, was what he did. So he became motor T in the Marine Corps because that's what Dad did.
Makes sense.
And then Reed's roommate, his name was hyphenated when he got in the Corps. And he was constantly trying to get it unhyphenated, but it was Richards, with an S, hyphen Skinner.
Richard Skinner.
Dick Skinner.
I love it.
And he approached me one time. I was his corporal. This is before I got ninja punched. And he said, "Corporal, I really don't like you calling me Dick Skinner." I said, "You know what? That's fair. You give me a better nickname to call you, and I'll call you that. But I don't give nicknames to people that I don't like, and I don't call people nicknames that I don't like." And he never gave me shit about calling. Now, he gave other people shit about calling him Dick Skinner, but he never gave me shit about it again.
I would have called him Circumstance.
Well, because I don't know if he was,
Dick Skinner.
I didn't know if he was circumcised or not, so I wasn't going to play that ball game. That gets a little too close to the showers.
See, I would have gone full Cockney on him.
Yeah, but nah. So Reed was my little white boy, and he hated that shit. But he knew that I wasn't. Like, he liked rice burner cars and tractor trailers. It's like, boy, why is the day as long, motherfucker?
By the way, guys, anyone that has served in a real branch of the military can attest that it is all competitive racism, but none of us mean any harm to it. It is all love.
It's not always ranked.
Well,
It might be competitive.
yeah, it's always competitive.
There's plenty of casual going on.
And it's one of those where yes, there are terrible people who do mean it, right? However, for the majority, I'd say like at least a good 95 to 98%, it's an expression of love. Because
Absolutely.
that is how we bond. Like, if we can't make fun of the worst aspects, how can we
Embrace the suck.
yeah, how can we appreciate the little things and actually embrace the suck and can get through it? So, just for anyone out there who gets offended by anything that might be considered politically incorrect,
Shove off.
yeah, with all no respect, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. My shaver, my guitar player, my white boy, and my Dick Skinner. They were my boots. I loved all of them. I did not like when they were cheating the system on shooting.
No, but, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Well, no. Like, they were cheating it the wrong way. So, in the Marine Corps, when you go to the range, it's 2 weeks long. You have 1 week of grass week. You got 1 week of range week. And if you unk the range, then I think it's like 2 months, and then you've got to go on the next range.
Okay.
So they would unk the range, go to the range, and then the year would reset. Because the year reset in October.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have to go until whenever. So they would get 3 months, and then unk the range, and then 2 months, pass. 3 months later, the year would reset,
So they're just always at the range.
which was part of the reason that I never got to go to the rifle range, because just about every time we had a range, I had one of my boots was at the range.
All I'm hearing is that you're mad you didn't get that opportunity.
No, I'm mad that my gunny, who was penned in to be at the range and wasn't, wouldn't let me shoot his spot.
I don't know. Every opportunity I had to be at the range. Usually I was running them though.
Yeah,
I will
which
try
that's the
to
fun part.
expend as much ammo as possible, but actually
So-
make a training.
Was it Cavallos? I don't remember. So, the one guy who was above me, I think he's still living down in Miami. He was another corporal along with me. He was the primary licensing NCO. I was the secondary licensing NCO. Because, aside from the bus, I'd had every other license that was necessary for a grunt unit. And then I wound up with my bus license anyway, so I was still driving the bus. Because when you start with hazmat, they're like, why don't you have a bus? We only have one bus. We had 3 bus drivers. We didn't need another one. But so I wound up with a bus in my second unit. But so he was also a coach, 5th element. So every range we did, he was at the range. I was filling in on licensing for him because he had to be at the range because he was a coach. I was in a perfect storm of not being able to go to the range. I can drive the weapons to the range. I can drive the people to the range. And I license whoever's not at the range while people are at the range.
Yeah, you got shafted.
My gunny and staff sergeant didn't like me anyway.
Speaking of shafted, this podcast is brought to you by man. Just kidding.
That would have been a great transition, but
That would have been a fun one. When I got, I kind of got shafted going to my second unit because I wanted to go to a unit that was going to like deploy 6 or 7 months after I got there, so I could get there, integrate, do a train up, because I know train up's only like 6 months anyway for most of them. Because ground units are training year round anyway, and so I would get there, get everything signed in, join the unit, go on a float. New. The unit that I went to was not the next one to deploy, they were the next ones to get back. So,
Bro, you just had all of the worst times.
so I get to my unit, I meet my 4 boots, because they got there at the same time I did, basically. And we're sitting around an office room, classroom setting, because there's no one's around. And we clean out some of the barracks, like make sure that they're not getting moldy and dusty and dirty and shit. Clean rooms every once in a while, do whatever. Make sure there's not bugs and rodents crawling around. Me being a corporal, I drank a lot of the time. So I would buy like a bottle of Jaeger, throw it in my freezer, get it cold. On the weekend, I'd buy a bunch of Red Bull, and I'd just pound Jaeger and Red Bull. It was a great time. Turned the air conditioning as cold as I could get it wherever I was at. Had a window unit, cranked that son of a bitch way down. Freeze myself out because I'd sweat to death drinking Jaeger. But I had a brand new unopened bottle. It had been in my cooler or my freezer for like a week and a half because I'd been doing other stuff, hanging out with a buddy of mine in another unit. Completely forgot about it. Unit gets back. They're not in the barracks. No one's moved in. I have literally just moved their gear from the beach because it's immune. They came in on landing craft because they can. Because it's funny. Staff sergeant does a barracks inspection. The fuck are you inspecting, Staff Sergeant? They're not even in the barracks yet. Their gear is still spread out in the quad. What are you inspecting?
Oh my god.
You came back on a Tuesday. Goes to the barracks. Sees there's a name on the window, along with Tartar. Tartar's been back for 2 hours. There's a bottle of Jaeger in the freezer. Hey, Tartar, what's with this bottle of Jaeger? Fucking, I don't know, Staff Sergeant. My gear's still in the quad. There's my stack of gear. So your roommate's got a bottle of liquor in the barracks, and liquor is forbidden in the barracks. We're going to go have to find your roommate. Fucking really? And that started it right there. That was the beginning of them not liking me. Who's this corporal coming from Japan? Been in service for 3 years, and he's got a bottle of Jaeger unopened. Like, he clearly didn't think that we were going to check rooms of people who aren't in the rooms yet on a day that's not the day after field day. What are you expecting, Staff Sergeant? You looking for something to be mad about.
Some people are miserable, dude. That's yeah. Those tend to be the people who stay in the military the longest are the ones who are the most miserable, and that's their whole personality. Like, I'm sure throughout the show and many episodes, it's gonna get brought up quite a bit, right? Because it was a big part of our lives.
Oh yeah.
10 years for me, and how long was it for you?
I was in for 4. I wanted to do a life. I wanted to be in for 20. Up until I got out. Or up until I got denied reenlistment. I had planned on doing 20.
And see, like, that's a level of commitment that's hard to let go of especially when for those 4 years you were committed to it. So it's like,
It wasn't until 2 months before I got out that I knew why my reenlistment was denied.
that's kind of,
I was 3 points off of sergeant. You know what the minimum number of points you get from qualifying on the range? 150.
and they wouldn't let you qualify.
And I didn't get to go to the range. I was 3 points off of sergeant.
But see, then if you would have stayed in, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Probably.
From what I have learned about my life, there are very small things that would prevent me from learning about other people. My family would have still moved to Tennessee.
Yeah. But but the likelihood of us meeting in class.
We might not have met in class, but we might have met somewhere else.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, yeah, I was in the Corps and you were in the Army, but you were in the Beret, and the Beret does a lot more shit with the Corps than the big Army does.
Fair.
So it's like, I could have run into you
At some point. Yeah.
in the deployment.
I mean, a train-up cycle, fucking overlapping JRTC rotation or something.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, there is a million a random school.
Like, we might not be sitting in this room in Nashville with this specific gear on the walls. Actually, that would probably still be there. That would probably still be there because that's just neat shit. That bass might not be here, but that guitar and this guitar would still be here.
Yeah, about half.
Like, there's a lot of stuff that would still wind up being here. It's just, would we go in the same order to get here? We might be doing like some really fancy fucking podcast shit, like some of them other berets do, where they've got like a great big conference room type shit set up for 2 people to sit down in front of a camera Oh
kind
my
of
god, I
obnoxious.
cannot stand that podcast. I've seen it a few times. Like, tell me here. Like, yes, the Beret does some dope ass shit. You gotta have a seriously inflated ego and be like, I'm going to make my podcast set a boardroom.
Here's the thing: it doesn't matter if it's a room, 10, whatever.
Are there black ones?
Black. Everyone wears black.
Okay.
That's the baseline for all.
Okay.
There's I think it's they petition for it to be brown. I don't know what their official one is for the Army's new unit that just, I can't even remember what they're called. They're the Army's new toy, but they're not. They think they're special operations, but they're not. It doesn't matter any of those, right? If you think that sitting down in a conference room like that makes you look cool, it doesn't. People want to be able to relate to others, and it's one thing
Like down with the shield and the arrows, with the sign that says "Six Up for Tyrannus" behind you in a boardroom setting doesn't make it any more. I love the logo. The logo's fucking dope.
it's cool, but it's like
But you throw it in a boardroom, and it loses all meaning.
I don't know. There's everyone has their own flavor of setting, but to me, that type of setup's kind of corny. I like the more personal types of shows where it is,
Some two jackasses in Adirondack chairs with a box fan in a window.
a box fan in a window, a can of dip, and a cigar.
Yeah.
It's
Also, my other hats are up on that wall.
hell yeah. So like to me, it doesn't matter what headgear you wore, what unit you were with. If that's how you choose to present yourself, just understand that to a lot of people, you kind of look like a chode.
Yeah.
Not
Not necessarily to civilians, because they don't know the difference and they don't understand it. Which I'm gonna call somebody out real quick, and you can feel however you want about it.
I don't care.
Tim Kennedy's a fucking chode, and the only reason he gets away with it is because civilians don't know the difference.
Yeah.
I carried a bag of 50 grenades, and I threw them all and had to reload. Fucking what?
Yeah, even his apology was not sincere, really. And I mean, but here's my thing, right? People who try to use that to sell themselves, right?
That's also very annoying.
That's very annoying. Very seldom will you hear me talk about my combat experiences on deployment, especially on the show. I don't know if I'm really going to delve into any of that. I've done a lot of therapy over the years to be okay to where I'm at now. I don't know that I necessarily want to undo it. So, but you will hear about a lot of the fun stories, and fun might still be traumatic for some, but sometimes you just got to shit your pants and look at the doctor and say, I just shit my pants, I'm going to go shower now.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, and it's like,
Sometimes you gotta drag a boot out of the truck and yell at him. Oh man, that was
like, and those types of discussions and conversations and funny stories, like, I think those are important to share with people because it brings to light the reality for a lot of people that doesn't get talked about because it's not sexy for me to talk about shitting my pants.
no, but it's a degree of context. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how you were as an NCO, but like for me, I smoked cigarettes for a long, long time.
Mhm.
But as an NCO, my thought process was there's a lot of guys that are going to chew your ass about every mistake you make. I'm going to pull you to the side when all of them get done. I don't care if you smoke or not. You're going to choke this one cigarette down, and we're going to have a conversation about if you're okay.
Yeah.
Because it was my goal to make sure that my dudes were good. If I chew one subordinate out, I couldn't tell you his name. He did something that was not okay. I was driving the bus. Dick Skinner was driving the 7-ton, and this kid was driving the 7-ton. This was the only time Skinner ever saw me go off on somebody because he broke out of the convoy. It was 3 vehicles and went a different way because he didn't know where I was going. He had a phone, his A driver had a phone. And neither of them answered. They beat us back to the motor pool by about 2 minutes. I drug him out of his truck and I chewed him the fuck out. And Skinner went inside and told Sergeant, it's like, Corporal Morley and the other guy will be in a minute. You can't chewed out.
Yeah.
It's like, because I didn't chew people out. That wasn't my gig. Like, I'm going to make sure everybody's good. But I was the only guy around at that time. There was no one else to let him know that he had fucked up. That was what was important to me.
Oh yeah, for me, it's one of those. I was a firm believer in having conversations and getting an opportunity to learn and grow and develop versus just absolutely shit down your throat. Sometimes that is required. Sometimes that's what's necessary for growth and development. And sometimes you do have to break down in order to build back up because that foundation was so terrible. However, the way that I preferred to do things was you're going to, there's still consequences to your actions. Like it's not just a conversation.
Oh,
You're going to physically exert yourself, but while you're physically exerting yourself, you're not going to hear me get emotional. I'm not going to yell. We're going to just talk about this like 2 grown adults. You just happen to be doing Spider-Man push-ups or something like that.
Yeah.
And chances are, especially if you start to explain your point and validate your point, guess what? We're still going to have that conversation. We're going to finish that conversation, but then I'm going to start exercising with you.
Yeah.
Because, all right, you leveled with me. You shared the context that I needed to better understand your position. And yes, at the end of the day, this was still a failure or whatever the case is, and it still needs a correction because we can't allow this to continue to happen.
If you
But
don't trust me, then this won't work. There needs to be a degree of trust.
I've been retired for over a year now, and there's still people that call me on a regular basis, still call me about my rank, still asking for advice, how I would handle things. And that's how I know that I at least was a success to the people that I had an impact on and those underneath me. And I think we're coming up on a good kind of stopping point. So, do you want to give a good piece of advice to anyone?
Yeah, we're right at about an hour.
And we had to restart this one.
Yeah, we did have to restart. We were like 20 minutes in or some shit. So the biggest piece of advice is if you have people who are senior over you, until they give you a reason to not trust them, trust them. They're there typically for a reason. If they give you a reason to not trust them, that's something else, and you should bring that up with them. Because that was his issue that day, was he didn't know the route that I was taking, and instead of calling
Or just following.
or just following, because I was his corporal, and he was the 3rd truck in line. Like, it was me, the next guy, and then him. He broke off instead of following the 2 senior people in front of him, because he was junior to the guy in the middle.
Yeah.
It was literally a train of senior, middle, bottom. And he peeled off because he didn't know the route. And he didn't trust us.
Yep.
And that was my main issue. Was A, not trusting us. And B, when he peeled off, he didn't have his A driver call my A driver because we'd all shared phone numbers. I didn't have an A driver. I was in the bus. I had a Bluetooth. But my second, the driver and the A driver, they both had phones. No one called anybody. Like I Bluetooth the A driver of the truck behind me. Hey, where'd he go? Why'd he turn around? What's he doing? Have we been able to call him? Have we got any word? Nothing. His A driver didn't answer the phone. He didn't answer the phone. Like nothing. No radio contact. It's like that was an issue. Because if he done that in country, because he's like, well, I know another route that they're not taking. I'm going to break off and take that route. Now you're a lone truck, you know? Who knows? They might have planted an IED there last night that you don't know about.
And there's a reason why we're taking this route.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's a route that we know we got. You might not know it, but we do. Other people know what's going on.
I think that's a fair piece of advice, for sure. And for those of you who are in a leadership position, take time to actually hear out those above and below you. And don't be afraid to learn from people that are underneath you. And don't be afraid to question those above you. And always do what you know to do. At the end of the day, there's not enough people within leadership positions that are willing to make the right call because it's the hard call or the unfavorable amongst peers call. But it's the right thing to do. And if you are willing to make those hard decisions, especially in the knowledge review of those underneath you, that will garner a level of trust that will make your life and everyone else's life significantly easier, and it will actually increase everyone's overall potential. And you have to be willing to step outside of your own comforts and your own box to be willing to do that. So don't be afraid to do that. Live and be bold.
Drink with your juniors, regardless of their age.
Yes.
Man, I had a sergeant tell me, you don't learn about your juniors by sitting down and having a beer.
No.
He's like, he read my file, so he knew that I was from Florida, my height, and my weight. That's all he knew about me.
Yep.
It didn't say nothing in like Reed, when I told you he got
Yeah.
adopted. There was nothing about his adoption in his file.
Nope.
I didn't figure that out until we sat down and had a beer. He didn't even like beer. He stomached it so that we could get to know each other.
Yep.
It was a bonding moment.
And
I never made him drink another beer.
if you don't drink, or if the person that you're trying to get to know just really doesn't drink, take them out to a meal.
Smoke a cigarette, do something.
Do something, an act of human extension, in order to start building that bridge of trust and to building that solid foundation between you and your subordinates. You guys are, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what your profession is, if you are a leader and you have subordinates, at the end of the day, you are always a team. And the better care you take of your team, the better they will take care of you.
Yep.
100%. On that note,
Final words on video games?
yes. Sony, if you are actively trying to shut down Bungie and kill the Destiny IP, I think it's a horrible business move. Call of Duty, stop being
So repetitive.
so repetitive and so redundant. Give us something new.
Obsidian, please give me more Fallout that's worth playing.
That was just announced recently.
I know. I'm hoping that it's like
Actually, real.
the rest of Microsoft. Shove off and go play with your Elder Scrolls things. Give us a 13th update and remaster.
Oh, they're working on an Elder Scrolls too.
But yeah, no, like that's the point. Obsidian's getting Fallout because the rest of them are stuck on Elder Scrolls.
So yeah,
Video games are not bad for you. Everything in moderation.
some of the most beautiful stories I've ever experienced have been told through video games like Expedition 33.
That is a good one. We need to branch into that.
Yes, we can.
That'll be for next time. We will get into more. Next time we'll probably do more music in the later
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
do
probably
more
talk.
music, more video games. Try to avoid some of the military stuff.
Yep, try to talk about maybe some anime, stuff like that. Just whatever forms of media.
Yeah, we'll get into something. This is video game stuff because I'm a nerd and it's fun. 3D printed and painted. But we'll get there.
We shall. We are still trying to figure this out. This is all
Yeah.
really new to us. Thank you for bearing with us. Hopefully, there's at least some worthy nuggets in there for y'all.
In the background, we'll have minor changes. At some point. These might not be guitars.
They might be guns. They might be giant dildos. Who knows?
His will definitely be a bad dragon. Big old tentacle.
Oh, only if it's fuchsia.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Thank you for hanging out. We will catch y'all in the next one. It's been John and Libby. And, yeah.
Don't get your sounding rod stuck in an electrical outlet.
Don't put your sounding rod anywhere near an electrical outlet.